One of Ichigo's most badass transformations was his Vizard holification, but controlling it to the level he achieved would never have been possible if not for Shinji Hirako, current captain of Squad 5. And in the 1000-Year Blood War arc, Kubo has revealed some exclusive anime-only information regarding his full power. Shinji, despite not being the most popular captain, is an absolute beast. This guy had been shrouded in mystery for most of Bleach, always showcasing that goofy-ass smile. However, there resides a mountain of strength, a power that could go head-to-head with some of Bleach's strongest characters. What makes Shinji so strong? Is it his holification? Is it his Shikai? No, it's a power that's much deeper than either of these things, something we never got to see in the original manga. It's his Bankai. Let's go! Yes, Shinji's Bankai has finally been revealed, and it's so strong that it was forbidden to be ever used by Yamamoto. But what is this Bankai? What makes it so forbidden? Well, it all has to do with Shinji's secret past. Shinji joined the Soul Society a couple of 100 years before the events of Bleach, and due to his skills, quickly rose through the ranks and became captain of the 5th Division. He would serve as captain for at least 100 years and would be known for his ability to read people and his calm, level-headed mindset while in battle. Shinji also has a goofy side to him, which usually comes out during his encounter with Hiyori, lieutenant of Squad 12. The two would get into countless childish arguments, but were very close friends. However, Shinji's whole world was about to be turned upside down when this guy showed up. Aizen started his plot to gain the ultimate power and balance between Shinigamis and Hollows. So to further his goals, he would join the Gote 13, getting access to numerous Shinigamis for his experiments. Eventually, Shinji started to suspect that Aizen was more than what he portrayed to be, and so to keep an eye on him, he appointed Aizen as his lieutenant. During the same time, Kisuke Urahara was just appointed into his new position as the captain of Squad 12, heading up the Research and Science Division. This furthered Urahara's relationship with Shinji, who would give him tips on how to handle being a captain to his squad, especially his lieutenant Hiyori. After 9 years, Aizen would finally set the first stages of his plan into motion, which forced Shinji onto a mission alongside other Soul Reapers to investigate the disappearance of residents in the Rukongai district. However, when Shinji appeared to investigate, he was in for a massive shock. Not only did he discover that Tosen had betrayed the 9th Division, but he was actually following Aizen's orders. Shinji told Aizen he was sus all along, hence his real motive of making him a lieutenant to keep an eye on him. However, Aizen responds with the fact that Shinji was wrong. He might have kept Aizen close, but not close enough. Huh? All this time, the Aizen that had been following Shinji around at a distance was but a fake.
Like, are you serious right now?
Yes, it was all an illusion thanks to Aizen-sanpakuto Kyoka Suigetsu. But since Shinji never paid close attention to Aizen's mannerisms, he never noticed this huge difference. Aizen even tells Shinji that had he tried getting to know him, he would have figured him out much earlier. So the distance between them was the reason for this 10-year-long dupe. And after giving that badass speech, Aizen made his move to kill Shinji, only to be stopped by none other than the legend himself, Kisuke Urahara.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Just as Aizen was about to destroy Shinji, Urahara and the Kido captain Tasai appeared to save his ass. Fending off Aizen and his goons, Tasai transported the holified victims, including Shinji, to Urahara's lab where he tried to reverse the process using his new invention, the Hogyoku. But sadly, he failed. But at least they were brought back to their human senses. However, on top of this L, under the orders of Central 46, Urahara and Tasai were arrested and framed for the holification, causing the holified Shinigami to be sentenced to execution as hollows. However, before any of their sentences could be carried out, they all were rescued by Yorichi. With Urahara's invention of 10 Reiatsu blocking Gigais, he was able to escape to the real world along with Tasai, Shinji, and rest of the holified victims. Due to Shinji's absence, Aizen was then able to put his plan further into motion by becoming captain of Squad 5. Then skipping to 100 years later, Shinji would finally make his grand entrance by going to high school. Come on, guys, this is a shonen. We're used to this by now. By this point, Shinji had completely mastered his holification powers and so decides to help Ichigo do the same and tame the beast within him. However, the first time we truly see Shinji's powers after becoming a Vizard is during Grimmjow's invasion of Karakura Town, where he activates his Hollow Mask. Shinji, being the leader of the Vizards, is embodied by his Hollow Mask, as it strongly resembles a pharaoh's mask, who are said to be the kings of their people in ancient Egypt. Though for Shinji, his Vizard form only lasts for a mere 3 minutes, while he gains dual type spiritual energy, Hollow and Soul Reaper, which means this guy is a double crack, as in turn, this gives him enhanced speed, strength, and a monstrous Reiatsu. The Hollow Mask also grants him incredible endurance, becoming much more resilient to pain. Shinji himself even states that when he first underwent holification, wearing the mask felt like being in someone else's body. To demonstrate just how powerful the Hollow Mask is, Shinji was able to overwhelm Grimmjow, the 6th strongest Espada, by evading his attacks due to his mastery of Shunpo. This is a guy who was one-shotting Ichigo's Bankai with ease. Come on, put some respect on his name. Using his speed and strength, Shinji dodges all of Grimmjow's attacks and delivers powerful counters while using only his sealed Zanpakuto. Like, goddamn, dude, this dude is a menace. He wasn't even using his Zanpakuto. It's also important to note that while using his Hollow Mask, Shinji is able to use hollow abilities like a Seto, which demolishes Grimmjow, hurtling him into the city down below. By doing this, Grimmjow is furious, so much so that he decides to release his Zanpakuto, something he only ever does to his strongest foes, such as main characters in Ichigo or main villains like Aizen. The next time we see Shinji's insane power would be when Aizen invades fake Karakura Town. After 100 years, Shinji and the other Vizards have come to take their revenge. Aizen, due to the twisted respect he has for Shinji because he was his captain for like a whole decade, tells him he will unsheathe his sword just for him, showcasing Aizen's caution, knowing he can't take him lightly. Like, this is Aizen we're talking about. This is a guy who puts respect on nobody. Shinji isn't playing games, however, and finally releases his Zanpakuto, Sakanade. It is absolutely busted, even without the use of his Bankai, as its Shikai, when released with the command Taorero, or collapse, enlarges Sakanade's pommel to the size of a massive ring where Shinji's hand can rotate the sword however he wishes, without even gripping it. This makes Sakanade one of the most agile swords in Bleach, making it a force to be reckoned with. However, the true terror of Shinji's Shikai is its ability to drug his opponents and make them high.
Oh, that's that good
I'm not trolling. Seriously, Shinji Shikai releases a pink mist from his sword, and anyone that smells it will immediately come under an optical illusion called the reverse world. In this state, a person's perception of left and right, up and down, and even forward and backwards are reversed, like flying planes in GTA but with inverted controls. But it's not just the sense of direction. Shinji Shikai also inverts a person's eyesight, direction of incoming attacks, and injury location. Think about it this way. Imagine waking up and everything being the opposite of what it was. Left was right and right was left. When jumping up, you're actually jumping down. Even some of your senses, such as eyesight, are reversed. It's almost like you're in a dreamlike state where nothing makes sense. Or just eat a bag of gummies and you'll experience the same thing. Shinji Shikai can also severely affect the equilibrium of those its power is used on, giving them vertigo, causing confusion, disorientation, and nausea. Shinji Shikai is basically a drug that completely f***s the mind. To show just how formidable these powers are in action, Shinji went head-to-head with Aizen, who up to this point was seen as virtually unstoppable. Without realizing it, Aizen enters Shinji's reverse world, but he quickly figures out its reverse nature and is able to block Shinji's attacks. He thinks he's in complete control until Shinji cuts Aizen's right arm.
It was at this moment that he knew he f***ed up.
He explains that trying to counter by processing Sakanade's power in mind isn't possible. This is because no matter how strong his opponents may be, even if they are heavily accustomed to fighting, their body won't be able to adapt to this change due to their reflexes preventing proper reaction. Hence why even Aizen couldn't big brain his way out of it. This guy not only got a hit on Aizen, but also roasted and disrespected him. Aizen, the guy who thought he could be a god, was owned by a dude with a yellow bowl on his head. But come on, by now we all should know that everything was part of Aizen's plan. Shinji, sadly, for the second time, falls under Aizen's genjutsu. However, luckily for our boy, Ichigo managed to get revenge on his behalf. After Aizen's defeat, Shinji makes amends with the Soul Society and is reappointed as the captain of Squad 5. Which then brings us to the Fullbring arc, where Shinji uses his own power to help restore Ichigo's Soul Reaper ability, showing the connection they have forged. Things are going pretty great for our boy Shinji. He's got his old life back. The guy who screwed him over is in jail, and the Soul Society is at peace. Alright, I was trolling. Yhwach would not let that fly, of course. The Son of God and the King of the Quincy, Yhwach's invasion of Soul Society completely shifts the balance of power in the Bleach world. During this initial invasion, Shinji isn't injured all that much, so he decides to give Ichigo a pep talk to ignite his determination. But he isn't done. In fact, this guy has been getting even stronger. Shinji realized he didn't do enough last time, and so goes all out against the Quincy during their second invasion. He reveals a new aspect of his Shikai against the Sternbitter Bambietta. His Sakanade is even stronger than before, as it's able to invert the words Shinji says as well. This means that basically he can make people hear anything in reverse. This completely dwarfs Bambietta's perspective of language and sound, taking confusion to a whole different level. However, that's not all Shinji revealed here, as he's been graced by the Bleach god Taite Kubo and given even more focus. In full animated glory, this time showing off his ultimate power, his Forbidden Bankai. And it's called Sakashima Yokoshima Happo Fusagiri. Yep, that's the name. That's a hassle to say, but just as long as the name is, this Bankai is just as powerful. So powerful, in fact, it would make you kill everyone you ever loved. Confused? Well, look no further. There's a reason you're subscribed. During the battle, Shinji is cornered by a full platoon of Quincy's, who kill all of his comrades nearby, allowing Shinji the chance to strike. That's right, Shinji's Bankai is so scary, he can't even use it around his comrades. In fact, it was banned from the Soul Society by Yamamoto because of its sheer terror. Shinji's Bankai has the ability to make anyone's perception of friend and foe twisted, making his allies his enemies and enemies his allies. It can't be controlled, however, which is why Shinji rarely ever gets to use it, but not today. By activating his Bankai, he surrounds himself in a giant flower which disperses mist all around the area. When this happened, all the Quincy started to view each other as enemies, so they massacred their allies. Yup, Shinji is the GOAT. There's some mad power behind this stupid smile and terrible bowl cut. You don't want this guy to ever use his Bankai, and in a 1v1 fight where he has no allies around you, you are f***ed. And if you do have allies around you, and he activates his Bankai, you are still f***ed, and your ally is f***ed too. After this, Shinji would become a supporting character to the rest of the Gote 13, as he assisted many of the other captains against the Quincy Royal Guard, specifically against Valkyrie Gerard. Here, Shinji tries to leave the battle, but is stopped and is forced into a fight alongside Byakuya and several other captains. He survives the war with the Quincy's and continues to perform his duties as Squad 5 captain. Perhaps there's even more to Shinji's Bankai. That's why Kubo has decided to reveal it in the anime. And hopefully we get to see it in the Breaths of Hell arc. Until then, check out our video where we go fully deep into Ishida's character and why he betrayed his brother Ichigo and how he could freaking beat Ichigo. Okay, I'm joking about the last part, but no one's beating Ichigo.